What's going on, guys? So here we are back with some more trade recaps. I was sick for most of the week, and so I wasn't really trading the way I usually trade. I wasn't trading often, and obviously I got behind on my sleep and everything, so I wasn't able to do any of these vid recaps. So this video right now is going to be a trade recap from Wednesday and Thursday. I took trades both those days. Didn't trade on Friday because I was doing participant recruitment for my thesis, so I didn't get any of that. But I'm going to do this trade recap, then I'm going to do my weekly assessment of how the week went, and then I'm also going to do my last video on my plan for next week. So there's going to be 3 videos now coming out today, which is, I know, video overload, but you know, what are you going to do? I was sick, but I said I was going to do all these videos, and so I'm going to do them, you know. So if we're just looking here at the market, wow, what a volatile time to be trading. I don't know if you guys can see this, but we are getting a bit of an uptrend coming now into the volume. So I'm thinking in the next couple of days we're going to find a base that we're going to get a nice bounce off of. So keep an eye on all that. So what we're going to do is just going to get straight into the trades. Okay, so we'll start on Wednesday. So Wednesday was the 24th. Yeah, just going to zoom this back. Okay, so I'm going to show you 2 P&Ls right now, guys. 2 P&Ls for Wednesday. So at the end of the session, when I was planning on walking away, was about here. It's around this 12 o'clock time, and I was sitting around here, and this is when I posted this P&L on my Twitter. Boom! I was up. I had my daily nut. I was green on almost all my trades by the end of that. And not like, geez, I took a tremendous number of trades, right? So already I was really over trading. So this was at about 12 o'clock, and I was getting ready to take off for the day. And then, unfortunately, I said it myself. I said, I need to take off, going to lose this money, over trading, da-da-da-da. Lo and behold, not 2 hours later, what happened? Look at that. All of my profits. This is the same day, guys, right? I just didn't do the position because there were so many. All my profits were gone. I absolutely wiped myself out. And so basically scratch day, down $38, probably down $100 after commissions. But like this day here was more disappointing to me than the day when I just took 3 red trades, right? So on Tuesday, I was down 300 on the day. I was fine. I wasn't upset with it. You know, I followed my trade plan. But this was just absolutely gut-wrenching. Like, I ended up losing massively on Amazon after this, trying to catch a bounce, which never came. Obviously, if you guys look at the chart, I was trying to catch bounces in here. I was thinking the SPY was going to bounce here, rally, and rip, similar to how it did here, right? So that's why I had all those UVXY positions. And it just didn't. It went against me. I overtraded. I didn't follow my rules. And so I lost. And it's funny that being down basically 0 is worse than being down $300. But it really, guys, it comes down to following your trading plan. And I just didn't. You know, I just got too excited. You know, I saw a ton of green and just a little bit of red on all my positions. And I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure I can. I thought if I caught a bounce, it was just going to be a huge day for me. So there I was chasing home runs. It's the way she goes. But so I just kind of want to explain some of the things I was doing. So on Thursday, and it's going to be tough. I'm not going to go through all of these positions, right? Oops, did try across. Like, look how many. What the heck's going on here? Oh, weird. Like, I took a ton of positions, right? I was in 12 or 13 different tickers. So I'm not going to go over all of those. It would be ridiculous, redundant, and for the most part, just unreasonable. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the SPY and kind of give you my thought process, because obviously, you know, guys, it's so volatile. I'm trading all these betas and some volatility indexes, so it's all related to the SPY. So I can probably show you pretty easily on the SPY what was happening. Excuse me. So what happened was, watching the SPY, this wick came in. I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit. I know it's going to be harder because we don't have any pre-market data, but we'll have to work with what we've got. So boom, opens, big old wick down, big old wick up. So I thought about getting in on the break of this wick. I believe I did get on the break of this wick in Apple, and took a loss on Apple, $70, right at the start of the day, very first trade. Gotten too early. Like, that's only the was that the second, third candle that was made on the day. It was just a bit too early. Saw this wick, this rejection, got out of Apple immediately, only the $70 loss, and basically started taking everything short, right? So if I take a look at some of these positions, right? So why is that thing, it just kind of died on me there. It's so strange. Basically, I was taking everything short. I was short NVIDIA, I was short Baba, I was short Netflix, I was short on everything, right? So I was happy enough. I held through this, kind of sold some here, held through this push into VWAP, added a couple more positions, kind of started selling, and then right around here, 10:30, I started to get really nervous, right? Because typically the market, it just falls and then it comes up and then it falls again. But on this day, look, it was just holding the steady grind down. And this started to roll here. And then Amazon started to roll here. And so all of these stocks were giving me this kind of grind down. And it looked like they were basing really nicely here. You see double bottom. And so if you didn't see these candles here, it just looked like it was about to rip up. So I started hedging my positions. I was super short on a ton of stuff. I was really over, I don't want to say over leveraged, but I had too much. I had all my positions based on the market going down, right? So if the market flipped on me, I would have all of a sudden been in like 6 losing positions. So what I decided to do was, in order to hedge against that, is I went, I went short in UVXY. So I don't know if you guys know, UVXY is a volatility index, and this thing was just straight ripping, like it was just making these big pops. And so I thought it was around here, right? I was like, you know what? I think we're going to find a pretty nasty dip off. SPY's rounding. So I went short here to watch the round. Covered some into here, which was the same pop as we saw in the SPY here, right? And then got stopped out on UVXY when the SPY dropped. But then all my positions really started working for me really nicely. And I was trading around cores and things like that. And then right in here, started to see this. So I closed out almost all of my shorts once I saw this hammer candle here. I saw my shorts were closed, and I started to short the UVXY again, and I was longing, what was I longing? Short UVXY, longing a couple of stocks as well, and that's not what I wanted. And so if we go back to UVXY to see what happened, see this? Shorted right there, took some here, got stopped out the rest here. So I was kind of hedging my positions, which definitely impacted my total profit. I know my P&L there looked like it was almost all green. I'm gonna pull it up again, but yeah, see, like it all looked like it was all green, but a lot of these positions, like I was down both sides of UVXY earlier in the day, and I just managed to get them back towards the end. But like I was red both of these. And like I was kind of piecing. I took a lot of my short positions off when the SPY did begin to do that base action. I took a ton of the size off here, and so I really didn't get to pay myself on this big dip. So it's just something else I need to work on. So I mean, it was an okay day. Disappointing that I gave back all my my wins, but it's just the name of the game. It's the market. It's discipline, and it's something I just didn't have. Right, I didn't have the discipline to. I didn't have the discipline to. Hold the right positions. I didn't have the discipline to walk away when I had my daily nut, right? I was up, so my daily goal, right, is a physiotherapy salary, $267. So hopefully I will typically get more than that, but that's the minimum goal for the day, really. And I was above it. I was up into 300s with my extra positions that I'd still been holding. So just such a shame that I kind of got confused with this bounce here and thought the entire trend was changing. I got caught here, trying to long it, and it was a disaster. And then thankfully, I finally just gave up on it and just called it a day when I was back to basically break even because I just didn't want to waste any more profits. So Wednesday, a bit of a disappointing day, just got grinded away, but that was my own fault. I started off the day over trading, and so I finished the day over trading, and that's just how she goes. Now the next day, Thursday, I was really sick. I hadn't been sleeping really well at all, so I didn't want to mess with the market really, to be honest. But I was in class, and my buddy he just tapped me. He loves Elon Musk almost as much as I do. We're total fanboys, and he mentioned, "Yo, they beat earnings," and I was like, "Oh shit, they beat earnings." So I went. I was so stoked, like, oh my god. Elon Musk is finally making this company profitable. I was absolutely just so stoked. You wouldn't even believe. I wish I could show the after hours market data, but this thing just fucking tore, man. It tore. It was just an insane little squeeze. and I was bummed because I've been hoping to have my options account open and ready to trade for this day. So I was going to take a straddle on this to try and catch that big move. Fortunately, it didn't work out. But or the straddle on the Tesla earnings, because that way, it's for me, as far as I'm aware, it's a pretty risk averse strategy for getting these earnings moves. But so I wasn't able to get it here. And then the morning I wasn't even looking at it because, again, I wasn't feeling well. I didn't want to trade it. And then I got home from class and I just hopped on the computer just to see what was what. And that was right around here. Right. So this significant level 301 that it held, that was a that was an hourly channel from way back here. Right. So I saw it hold once, saw it hold again, got in long on this dip back down. So I got in here on 303, 303.92. And I'll show you the P&L here in a minute, and then I took off for the day. My idea, what I was hoping for, was that if we could close above this 200 moving average, then we could rip and squeeze. And so that's what happened, right? So let me see if I can actually hide some of these, right? So it comes down, taps, closes the gap right here, which is insane, and then immediately popped right back up. So it had a ton of conviction in this play, and so I just kind of let it do its thing and bought it here, logged off. Honest to God, logged off. Didn't look at it for the day. Came back around 7 p.m. my time, around 12 o'clock. Saw we were sitting up here, so I was up pretty nicely on the trade. I didn't take tremendous size or anything. I think I only took like 30 shares. I was only risking $100 because I just didn't want to deal with it because I wasn't feeling well, and I was bummed about the day before, obviously. So I saw it and I was like, fuck it. I said I'd lose $100 where I'd make a ton. So I left the position on. Started watching it a bit closer coming into this later day here. Saw this, kind of sketched out, but I also saw that we were broke out of that trend. We were holding that trend really nicely, and then pop. So got this big move, and then once we got up in here towards this kind of 315 area, I sold in around here. So my total P&L on that trade, and that was the only trade I took that day. BABA was a hold from the previous day. I had like 5 shares that I was holding just because I'm trying to get used to swinging. I'm going to start swinging a few things in options, so I just want to get used to having a position overnight. So tiny size, what is that? It barely even covers commissions, but whatever, it's a win. So $280 on that Tesla, so I got just under a 10-point move, which was just amazing, right? I think I got caught. I think I shorted on this big dip back down. Once we kind of broke back down through this level here, I decided to go ahead and get out in around here in the 313s or something like that. And I think my average was 303.80 or something. So, but anyways, that was a great trade. Really happy with that. Was planning on holding it for a couple days, but I just didn't trust the market. The market was so sketchy, and Amazon was coming out with earnings, and I just wasn't. And Amazon had just given their employees this massive minimum wage increase, so there's no way their outlook was going to be good. So I just didn't trust it. Lo and behold, could have, right? Things still moving up super nicely. 330 would have been my target exit. But again, I didn't watch it on Friday either, so for all I know, it could have just dumped out and stopped me out, and I would have just wasted a full day, right? So a bit disappointed that I didn't hold according to my plan, but at the same time, you just got to take profits in this market. Like we'll go back to the SPY here again. Like the SPY is just a big old piece of junk, right? So even though the SPY moved up on that day with Tesla, like look, just a huge gap down and just, like this Tesla could have so easily turned around and just ate shit. As a result of the SPY just not wanting to move up. So I'm happy that I took my profits there and ended that day up $286 or $287.10. So that's over my daily nut, right? So okay week, I guess. Not super stoked on it. A bit disappointed, honestly, with Wednesday. Wednesday is the day that I just really didn't want to have this week. Giving back profits, just I was tired. I hadn't been sleeping well. So bit upset about that, but otherwise, happy enough with the week. Didn't hit my profit goals, but honestly, in a market like this, I'm just stoked to be green, and I'm green enough anyway. So those are my trades that I took. What I'm going to do now is I'll go ahead and finish this up, and then I'm going to publish a weekly recap. So that's going to be all my trades imported into Trade Review. We're going to kind of look back to the stats and make a plan for this upcoming week. And then I'll do one more video on my weekly plan, which is just going to be, okay, this is what the market looks like, it wants to do. So these are the levels I'm going to be watching. So I'll have both those videos out for you today as well. So keep an eye out, and thanks for watching, guys. And any questions, feel free to ask. I know this recap wasn't super specific just because it took so many trades on Wednesday. Like I don't even remember half of them, to be honest, which is just a shit sign, right? I'm definitely over trading. So going to try and sit back a bit this next week and make good trades, make strong trades, really try and play some options and really begin to increase the percentage of my plays that are done with options now in my portfolio. Just because equities are great, but options, man, like, can you imagine if you caught that SPY, that option move from that 262 off that 61.8 fib retracement all the way back up to the 50? Man, dude, like, oh, you could have gotten some ridiculous gains. So anyway, that's that. Yeah, so this is it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you again soon. Deuces.